guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support received my last video. Even if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head on over to my channel to check it out. Well guys, I am officially announcing the start of autumn. It might not be yet, but to me it is. Welcome to autumn, welcome to fall, welcome to September.
It's autumn?
One of my favorite months is also my birthday month, so I happen to love it a lot. Welcome to fall. I hope you guys all enjoyed last week's video about the books that I read this summer and tier ranking them in the yes, no, maybe columns. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Today, we are taking a walk on the dark side. And when I say the dark side, I am talking the darkest that it has ever gotten, the darkest that it will probably ever get from me.
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
We are talking about the infamous Manacled by SenLinYu. Guys, I have completed reading Manacled because, as we know, SenLinYu is a famous author, and her book Alchemised, which is Manacled but in a traditionally published way, is being released on September 30th. And I just saw literally yesterday or today or whatever, that it is being released into a motion picture movie. It is also going to be released as a movie. Now, I told myself that before Alchemised came out, I wanted to read the original manuscript, which was Manacled. I needed to see, what was this book? What was it all about? What is everyone been raving about for the past couple of years since this copy has existed in the world? And I finally read it. And today we are going to be getting into my thoughts. But before we get into that, I would love to talk about what I just finished reading versus what I am currently reading. Guys, after my stint with Manacled, I am spiraling heavy in a deep depression of sadness, and I have decided to fulfill the rest of my September months with nothing but joy and happiness and light and easy reading and just fun, good times.
All right, Queen Poppy, I've prepared an agenda for the day.
Oh, well, I hope it says singing, dancing, and hugging. Ow, ow!
I've earned it. I've earned reading nice stuff, reading about nice and happy little romances. And so, of course, I had to read the Queen of Queens, the Mother of Mothers. I completed within one evening, under 6 hours, I finished reading Wildcard by Elsie Silver, the completed 4th book and the last book in the Rose Hill Ranch series. Miss Elsie Silver. Guys, this is Wildcard. Wildcard is about a young woman named Gwen. She's a yoga instructor. She's about 27 years old, who meets this very handsome fire pilot guy. He's like one of the wildfire guys who like sprays water in the airplanes. He flies planes. It's very sexy. He's this sexy DILF man named Bash. Bash is about 39 years old. When he and Gwen meet, they meet in an airport one evening on a stormy night, fall for each other, and when they leave, there's like a miscommunication. They don't hear from one another, and it turns out, we find out later, that Gwen has accidentally dated Bash's son. Oh gosh, it is messy. So this is ex-boyfriend's dad trope. And I will be honest, like, I was a little bit nervous about the trope when I read it, because I was like, is it gonna be icky? Is it gonna, like, can I palate this? Like, can I do it? And to be honest, I absolutely lived. I ate it up. I felt very seen by Gwen in this book. I felt very represented by her in this book. I felt very, like, in camaraderie with her. I admired her optimism and her lust for life and her passion. And I loved Bash and his, like, emotional, like, complicated self, and, like, you know, the things that he's been going through and having to overcome those things and having to go to therapy to talk about those things and, like, overcome a lot of the rejection that he's faced in his life. I absolutely adored their relationship, and I thought they were just darling, and the sex was sexy.
Damn, he's cute. Holy shit.
And I just lived for it. So if you are wanting the ex-boyfriend dad trope with this sexy hunky DILF and this gorgeous woman, please check out Wildcard. I rated it 5 stars. And now for what I'm currently reading, guys. Like I said, I'm fulfilling the rest of my month with nothing but happiness and good times and adventure. Nothing insane. We are going to be reading Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. I've heard this is a Loch Ness Monster meets rom-com kind of Scottish-Irish romance situation. I'm very excited to read this one. I've heard it's very cute and very fun. And as you guys know, I've been really in my monster mood this whole entire year. And so I can't wait to read this one as a cute little rom-com after the suffering that was Manacled. So very excited to read this one. Now, getting into today's video, obviously we have some serious housekeeping to do first. So this video is going to be separated into two parts. We are going to be doing part one will be a spoiler-free version of my thoughts on Manacled and what I thought of it and what I think you should do with it. The second part will be a spoiler-filled version. And I have to tell you, for my people who are extremely sensitive to sensitive topics, this might not be the book for you. It certainly wasn't for me, but I did read it. And I don't know if I can say that I regret it, but I can say that it was hard. It was really hard. So you might at some point want to watch the spoiler-filled version so that you don't have to read what I read. But also, if you've never read it and you want to read it at some point, please watch the spoiler-free version that I will be putting in here. I will announce in the video when I'm going to be starting the spoiler-filled section, going a little bit more in-depth on Manacled and like what I thought of it. But regardless, it is time to talk about SenLinYu's Manacled. Let's get started.
Really? Here we go. Buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy one.
Okay, so this is the spoiler-free section of Manacled. Now, Manacled, I borrowed my copies of Manacled from a friend. She had hers divided into 3 separate parts. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And each part was no less painful than the last. My thoughts on Manacled. So,
No. Wait.
if you are going to read this book, my biggest condolences to your naivete, my condolences to your innocence, my condolences to anything that you ever thought was happy ever in your life.
Leave me alone to die.
This book is horrible, and it's beautiful, and it's putrid and disgusting, and it's romantic and evil and heartbreaking. It is everything that you could think that it is. Like, for those who don't know what Manacled is, let me just give you a brief explanation. Manacled is a Draco and Hermione fanfiction written outside of the canon of Harry Potter that a beautiful author, Miss SenLinYu, wrote a couple years ago. The premise of the book is essentially how it starts is Hermione. This is after the 5th year in Hogwarts. So I think it's going to be 6th year, right before it all takes place after Dumbledore has died. In this version of Harry Potter, the war has been lost. Voldemort won, and Hermione was a healer in the war. And essentially she is taken, she's captured by the evil, like the bad side, obviously the dark, like the Death Eaters and stuff. And essentially, Voldemort has decided to start a breeding program amongst the surviving good side and use those women essentially like a Handmaid's Tale situation as bodies to help bring up the magical bloodlines, because there are a lot of, because of with the pure blood versus mixed blood generations, it just is not working for them. And so Voldemort has decided to assign Hermione Granger under the High Reeve of his armies and essentially give him to her like a Handmaid's Tale situation to do with whatever he pleases. Now, if you've read The Handmaid's Tale and you're familiar with The Handmaid's Tale, you know exactly what that means. I'm not going to go further into that in this part, but you know exactly what that means.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
The trigger warnings on this book, like I read the trigger warnings and I thought, you know, I can handle this. Like I've read some dark stuff, like it's fine. I could not handle it. It was one of the most triggering, devastating, disgusting things I've ever read. Part 1 ruined my life. Part 1, I legitimately have never wished I was dead. I was like, I wish that I was dead right now. Like, this is the worst thing that my eyes have ever seen or read. Like, it cannot get worse than this. Part 2 and Part 3, if you do decide to read this book, are much more palatable and it all like makes sense. But Part 1, my gosh, it legitimately like hurts to read it. It's so painful. It is so sad. It is so hopeless. Like the whole time that like you're reading this book by SenLinYu is like you're just seeing like she captures it so perfectly in the words. Like when you read Part 1, you feel utterly hopeless. There's not one scrap of hope to be found. There are these little glimmers that you think are gonna like meld into fruition. You'll be like, oh, we finally have just like a glimpse of hope. And none of it. It's all shattered and squashed under the boots of these horrible people. Like, You feel for Hermione. She is so broken and so lonely and so sad. And she has no one. And so I feel for her. I do. I was literally like, by the end of part 1, I felt the way she felt. I wanted to not be there. I wanted to be dead. I was horribly depressed. And I was like, this is horrific. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. And then in part 2, you feel the same sense that she does. You feel this drive and this passion to like want things to be different, and you understand her and you understand why she's doing the things that she's doing. And then by part 3, you have more of a full understanding, and you just feel the anxiety of like, is it going to work out? Is it going to work out? Is it going to work out? You're just following along, and you feel everything that she feels. And it is dark and depraved and sick and horrible. Like, I cannot emphasize how horrible. Now, there might be people out there who like do not think that part 1 is as bad as I think it is. I didn't realize I was as sensitive as I thought I was.
You're kidding, right?
Like, I truly didn't. Like, I was like, I can handle this. Like, I've read stuff that has broken my heart. Like, I can handle this. I could not handle it. Like,
When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
I felt utterly devastated by the acts that were happening in part 1 of this book. I cannot even begin to describe the utter violation of humanity and my innocence that went away after I read this book. That is something to like take note of. I will say the book is extremely well written, and it is very easy to follow, even if you're not like the biggest Potterhead or whatever, if you're not like are super familiar with Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I'm a super big fan, and so like
Holy cricket, you're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger.
like able to follow along super well with all the different characters and like all the different like side characters that like come up in the story. And so like I was really following along with it. I was really like melded with it. I think sometimes I had a hard time because obviously this is separate. It's not the same canon as the first book, as the original series is. So sometimes there were things that were conflicting, like people's personalities that I didn't think totally went with how it would be. But again, it's a separate canon. It's a separate world that is different than the world that they existed in. And so therefore they're going to make different choices. If you think for 1 second that this book is a romance, you're kidding yourself. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It is not romantic.
You liar!
It is traumatic. And yes, there are elements of this like messy, gross, tortured relationship that come through between these two people, but it is not romantic. It is tragic. It's a tragedy. It is a far beyond tragedy. It is two people who have given up quite literally everything, even everything inside. Their immortal souls, essentially, given all of it up just to survive and just for each other. There's so much like play into like selfishness in this book. Like there's so much selfishness that like, but I love it because at the end of the day, after watching it and watching what they went through, they deserve it. They deserve to be selfish. I cannot emphasize that enough. So I gave the book 4.5 stars. The only reason why I cannot give it a solid 5 is because of the absolute mental breakdown, emotional scarring that I endured reading part 1. Like, my aunt texted me after I told her about this book that I was reading this, and she was like, there is you before you read Manacled, and there is you after you read Manacled. And I agree with that. I am a different person now after I read it. It is quite literally one of the most heartbreaking pieces of literature that has ever been written. And I'm going to have to put myself through the torture again because I am going to read Alchemised. I want to read Alchemised. I want to see what she's done with it and what's the difference between Alchemised and Manacled. I feel like Alchemised will be similar. It'll be a slightly more palatable version of the book. And so I think I will enjoy it more because I will be able to like endure it better. But I don't know if that makes it better. And I will let you guys know once I read Alchemised my thoughts on the difference between the two. Now, we are headed into the spoiler-filled section, okay? So if you have not read Manacled or you don't, if you've not read Manacled, please skip out. But if you have read it or you haven't read it, but you don't really want to read it before you read Alchemized, I'm just gonna be going over some of like my favorite details from the book and things that like broke my freaking heart and things that like ruined my life. And of course, just like all the spoilery things. So spoiler section starts right now. And now that everyone who doesn't want to know about the spoiler-free section is gone, what the actual F was that book? Like, what in the actual hell frick was that book? It was the most utterly disgusting thing and most beautiful thing I've ever read. Part 1. Obviously, let's just talk about part 1 really fast. Part 1 was hard to read. Obviously, because it's a Handmaid's Tale, we know that there are several instances of non-consensual and RAPE happening in the book. I did not expect to be so utterly like moved to like a point of like I was having like a panic attack. Like I was very stressed. I was very like, this can't be happening because he's supposed to be her person. Because in all the other fan fictions that I've read, Draco and Hermione are like each other's person and they like look out for each other and they take care of each other. And in this world, they did not. That in that moment, that was not what's happening. That was not what happened. Like the fact that Hermione had agoraphobia and could not leave her room. She had fears about like even stepping outside. Obviously that just continues to trauma bond with the person. Like even in part 1, Hermione knew in her heart of hearts that Draco would take care of her and that he would come for her. And there was that like kind of like Stockholm syndrome kind of situation happening. And I just kept feeling so bad because he kept being so mean to her. In all of part 1, he was so mean to her in so many instances. And there are moments where obviously he did protect her and he did help her, but at what freaking cost? At this point, it's at the cost of like everything that you guys have done together. Like, what was it worth it? Because I just don't know. Like, I can't even say. Then you get into part 2 because part 1 broke my freaking heart and I just didn't know what to think anymore. Then you get into part 2. Part 2, you finally understand why Hermione is the way that she is. You understand that the Order has always been against her, that she became a healer to help these people, that she's been seeing death on the front lines this entire time. She's fighting for dark magic. She wants to like use it so they can win this war. She seeks out Draco. Like essentially the Order tells her that Draco's going to be a double agent spy. She basically comes like Draco's whatever because he's like, I want her. I don't like, I'm going to use her, use and abuse. It was like a scare tactic. He was never going to do that to her. But like the way that those two used and abused each other as well, like she's like, she made him care about her. And once he cares, he cannot let go. He's just like, it's the part, oh my gosh, there's a part in the book that makes me sob my freaking eyes out is when he's like holding her after he finally admits why he is the way he is and like why he's such a protective person, like what happened to his mother. And he looks at her and he's just like, I can't care about someone else again. I can't. It ruined me. It broke me. If I care about you and you die, I will not survive. I won't. And by the end of it, he doesn't care to survive because he's like, we've been through enough. Enough is enough. He's like, I don't care to survive. He's like, I just want you to be okay. Which obviously, in a sense, is so romantic. But again, these two people are extremely toxic with one another. They cannot be without one another. And yes, there is a possessiveness and a sexiness of that I adore. Like, it's the way that he's like, I will always come for you. And she's the same with him. It's like when she, at the very end of part 2, blows up that factory because she's trying to protect him and make sure that he doesn't get tortured and destroyed. She's like, I will do anything to protect him because he would do anything to protect me. It's such a like vicious way of protection. And something that I like loved, like that reading in part 2 especially, was how much like the loneliness of both of them. Like in part 2, you would think that like Hermione has friends. She has Ron and Harry and Ginny and like other people who are her friends. No, she has no friends because she went away for 2 years to go become a healer. She has no friends. She is utterly alone. No one to talk to, no one to be with. She's like wearing away, like seeing all this death and surrounded by it, and no one cares about her. She is the only like expendable option in their eyes, and if she goes away, then like who cares? You know what I mean? But Draco cares. He's like, why do they do this to you? They use you. You are a weapon to them. And she's like, I'm just like you. You're a weapon too. You have no one. Your mother is dead. Your father a psycho. You have no friends to speak of, no one who you can let in. And you've been tortured your entire life to become a weapon to serve in this army. Like, they are both utterly alone. And yet they have done everything in their power to make sure that the people in their life are as safe as they can be and protected. And that's why they are perfect for each other, is because they are both willing to do whatever it takes, no matter the cost. Like, I thought I knew what that meant until before I read Manacled, like, they will do whatever it takes, no matter the cost. No. These two, it is no matter the cost. I don't care if it costs every person. It's just like there's so many moments where Draco just is killing people. He doesn't care if a single person lives or dies. He's like, I will, and to quote the book, I will raise the order to the ground if anything happens to you. I will kill every person in this room if something happens to you. Like, it's not even, Draco is to a point of like, he does not care about anything above her. And there is a dark, possessive part of me that really, like, loves that because it's so hot.
Holy is this wrong? But holy hell, is it erotic?
But also, there are so many moments where I'm like, that is terrifying. To have someone's absolute, unwavering, undying, you are the moral compass. And they will do whatever it takes to keep you safe. And it is kind of terrifying to think about. Hermione has a bit of a moral compass. She's not just going to kill anyone to protect him. Draco will kill everyone. And it's terrifying. But in Draco's case, for a lot of the killings, which is something that I want to talk about, is like, a lot of it is mercy killings. Like, a lot of it is like, this person would be tortured, this person would be taken, this person would be hurt. He's like, I will just kill them quickly so that it's done. Like, it's always mercy. It's mercy killings and mercy sparings, because he's like, I don't want them to suffer anymore. He can't stand it, and neither can I. I can't stand it either. And so for that, I'm grateful for his efforts in that, and that Hermione sees that. She's like, I see what you're doing. You try to play it off that you're like the scariest person, that you're this horrible person, that you're this monster, when in reality, the only reason why you're ending these people is because the alternative is so much worse in every way, shape, and form. So much freaking worse. And then you get to part 3. And part 3 was so anxiety ridden for me, because I was so worried they weren't going to make it out. I was so worried they weren't going to be able to escape. And the whole time, even after they escaped, and they're finally safe, I just kept waiting. I'm like, the other shoe's going to drop. When's it going to drop? It's going to drop at any time. Like, I'm losing my mind. Like, when's it going to drop? And then it never did. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, they did it. They did it. They did it. They escaped. They did it. Like, they did the thing. Like, they ran away. They're done. They've given everything that they could to this war. They gave everything to the people around them, and they did it. And they finally get their reward, which is to do absolutely nothing for the rest of their lives. And no one to answer to. No order, no Voldemort, no nothing. They just get to be with each other. Like, when they escape, I truly was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, they're going to get caught. They're going to get caught. Someone's going to die. They're going to take them away. Draco's going to get separated. Hermione's going to get separated. Somebody's going to go away. Something bad is going to happen. And then it doesn't. But the anxiety of getting caught is still there for so much of that third part, where you're just like, they're going to get caught. Something bad's going to happen. Like, it can't just be peace forever. Like, something bad is going to happen. Like, what's going to happen?
I'm anxiety. I'm one of Riley's new emotions.
And then it never does. And they just get to live, and they get to exist, and they get to just like grow old together. And that's something that like maybe some people might have a harder time with. So at the end of the book, obviously they escaped. A couple years later, Ginny, because she's living in a safe house, she survives with her son James, and of course Hermione and Draco's daughter, Aurora. And they're all living in this safe house, like everything's fine, but the war is like, they need to kill Voldemort. Like, he's still not dead. Ginny is upset, and she's like, come back with me, like, let's end this war. And Hermione and Draco are both like, no, like, we gave everything to the war. We gave everything. We gave our lives. We gave our souls. We gave any good parts of ourselves to this war. So no, we're not going to go back and end it. Somebody else can. And Ginny does. And I'm so glad that she does. And way to freaking go. She avenges her family. She avenges her lover. She avenges the people who died. She sets up new boundaries for for wizarding kids alike. It's amazing. It's wonderful. But it doesn't, like, Hermione and Draco don't need to be a part of it. They're done. They did everything. They did the most. And you know what they get for their eternal reward? For doing everything that they can. They get written into a book, into history. Draco is known as the wizard with a mass murdering wizard who has done nothing his entire life but kill and kill and kill. And he is one of the great, like, they're like, monsters cannot be, they are not made, they're born. And he was one of them. He was born a monster, born this way. And it's just so untrue because he actually does care. And then you have Hermione, who gets one tiny blip, tiny little portion of that paragraph. And you guys know the quote. And if you've read the book, you know the quote. And it's that Hermione Granger was an inactive member of the Order of the Phoenix, and she did not fight. That's it. That is the blurb that she gets for everything that she went through. And all I could think was, this has to be a joke. This can't be real.
No. No.
Yes.
No. Lori.
What?
You're being mean. Stop it. Stop it.
All she did her entire life was fight. Fight and fight and fight. Her entire existence, all she did was fight. And this is how she's remembered, as someone who did not fight. And it sends me down a spiral that I cannot even begin to explain. Like, it's so unjustified. It's so evil. It's like, how could you do this to her? How could you do this to her? She doesn't deserve this. All she did was fight. And this is how you immortalize her as an inactive member of the Order of the Phoenix who did not fight. She sold her soul to the Order of the Phoenix. She sold her life. She gave up her body, her mind. She gave up everything for these people to win this war. And her reward is this, that she did not fight. All she did was fight her entire life. I cannot emphasize this enough. The book, but it's so poetic in that way, though. It's so poetic for that thing of that blurb of, like, she did not fight. And she and Draco, they don't care because they did it. They survived. They don't care how they're remembered. They don't care how the world saw them because all they wanted was just to, like, live and exist together. And it takes years and it takes time for them to, like, move on from their past and to get over things. And there's certain things about them that they're never going to be able to move on from, certain traumas and triggers and moments between them that they're never going to be able to forget, and horrible nightmares and things like that. Like, they will never forget those moments, but they get to spend the rest of their lives living in peace after everything they went through. And that is their reward. That is what they deserve it. They deserve to be safe, and they deserve to live in peace, and they deserve to be left alone. Leave them alone. They don't need to answer to anyone. I don't care what anyone says. They just need to be left alone. My kids need to be left alone. So the only way to describe this book is it was a punishment. I literally felt like that's how I described it to people. I was like, I feel like I'm being punished reading this. Like, this is a punishment. Like, I have never read anything so dark, so tragic, so horrible in my entire life. I thought that I knew pain before I read Manacled. I didn't. I didn't realize how horribly dark it can get, and how I didn't understand what morally gray versus morally black characters meant until I read this. This is morally black. The morals in this book are so skewed and so twisted and yet so interesting to read. Like, the people are so twisted and so complex. Like, all of these characters are so complex. And the motivations for all these characters are so complex, and it's always about trying to figure out, like, why do they do the things that they do? I have to say, at the end of the day, I am glad that I read the book, but I absolutely cannot recommend anyone read this. Like, truly, I can't. Like, I am glad that I read it, and I'm glad that I understand what this is and, like, what people are talking about when you talk about the complexities of war. But I'm so sorry. It is truly so dark, so heinous, and so evil. I could never in good conscience be like, please go read this book. Like, I could never in good conscience say, go read this book. Like, I could never just, like, recommend it to someone. If someone was asking me for Hermione fanfictions to read, this is not the one I would give them. I would give them other ones, and then maybe if they were like, I want to read Manacled, I would warn them heavily that it will probably ruin their life. But if they read it, good luck. But I don't think with good conscience I could never recommend this to someone to read. It is awful. It is so awful. It's beautifully written, and it's a story that is so complex and twisted and dark. I'm so glad that I read it, but like, at what freaking cost? My gosh, it like ruined me. It ruined me. But I'm so happy. I'm not happy. I'm so relieved to understand what all the hype was about. And I'm at peace with how it ended. But I'm so angry and sad and horrified that I've read it, if that makes any sense.
Every feeling I have demands to be felt immediately. Every feeling I have demands its own parade.
So I don't know. It's like a back and forth. I have mixed feelings about it, clearly. I just don't think I, in good conscience, could recommend this to any person on planet Earth. But I am very honored to have read it and horrified at the same time. So that is my completed description review of Manacled for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Living Literature YouTube channel. Guys, I know that this video was a lot darker than our normal stuff. It's a lot heavier than what I normally talk about. I just wanted to get all of my thoughts and feelings about Manacled out on the paper and like out for you guys to express and to hear. If you do decide to read this book, please do so with the utmost caution and respect. Please take care of yourselves. Please read the trigger warnings. Please take care of your mental health. It is seriously so, so important. And again, if you guys are looking for any new fun cowboy books to read, cannot recommend Wildcard enough. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you have a great day. I love you guys the most and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.